Hi, it's Mary. Welcome to the Paper Turtle. Today I am doing something that I have been wanting to do for the longest time, and I'm finally getting a chance to do it. I'm going to make an altered book journal. Have you made one? Let me know in the comments if you have, and if you have any tips or tricks for doing this. I've never done it before, so this is not going to be a tutorial. This is just me doing it because I want to try it. I've been watching some videos and getting some different ideas, and I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready. So I'm going to get right into it because I know it's going to take a while because this is a pretty big book. And I want to limit this video to an hour. So I'm going to just kind of jump right in, and we don't need chit chat anyway. I'm using a Reader's Digest book, as you can see. This is one I recently picked up, and I think it's a, fairly newer book. Some of the Reader's Digest books that I have picked up in the past, the spines were falling apart. This one is in really good shape. I don't even know if this book was ever, opened up. This estate sale had a whole bunch of them, and I think I picked up 2 or 3, maybe, just because they were in such good shape. And I did have making this altered book journal in mind when I when I picked them up, knowing that I already have a whole bunch of them. I wasn't sure how good my spines were. So this one has a good spine. I like the color. I have a paper pack picked out that I want to use for decorating it, but when I thought about it, I'm not sure if I'm going to use that. And I'll explain that more when we get to the decorating stage. For now, we're just going to prepare it. And I'm just going to get, like I said, I'm going to get right into it. So the whole concept is you use the pages that are in the book, but you have to thin it out because you're going to add to it and bulk it back up again. So we keep the first couple of pages. So I'm going to keep this one and this one. And then this one will be the beginning of the, it'll be not the first page in the journal, but the first page we're saving. You'll have to excuse me with this because, like I said, I've never done this before. I'm just going by videos that I've seen, so I might be a little bit fumbly at first. So you may want to just get your own stuff and do your own crafting while I'm doing this. I don't know. Maybe you have a Reader's Digest book handy, and what the heck? Why not? Grab it. Let's play along with me. And by the way, it doesn't have to be a Reader's Digest book. I am using a book that does not have sewn-in signatures. You can do it with sewn-in signatures, but it's a slightly different method because of the way the book is constructed. So I'm using one that does not have sewn-in signatures. They are glued in. So if you want to follow along with me, any book that does not have sewn-in signatures will work. It doesn't have to be this thick. It doesn't have to be this size, any thickness, long as the signatures are not sewn in. Unless you know how to do it with the sewn-in signatures, then you can follow along with me using that method. That'll be a different video for me if I do that. But anyway, today. So I'm saving the first couple of pages because they are stability in the book. And then this will be my first, first save. I don't know. I don't know. I'm tearing out 8 pages from in between each of the pages that I'm saving. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, this left behind a lot of stuff here, and I'm going to guess that's because the book is not, like I said, it didn't look like it had been opened. So what you might want to do, if that's the situation in your book, is kind of open it up a little bit and get some of these pages. Break the binding, as they say. Not really breaking it, you're just kind of stretching it. So we'll see. But if you have these, you don't need to worry too much about them, because they're going to be in between your pages and you're not going to see them. But I'm going to go ahead and try to take them out. I don't know if that's going to work. That may not work too well for me, because I don't want to, you don't want to cut the page below. Yeah. I think my knife isn't sharp enough to do this. But like I said, I'm afraid if I use a sharper one, it's going to cut the pages, which of course I don't want to do. All right, well, that's not going to really work too well. I'm going to just move along from this and try to get them a little cleaner the next time. Maybe I can do something else to clear this up once I come back to it, because I want to get moving along. Okay, so this page that I saved and then this next page, they're going to go together. And what I'm going to do, this first one, I think I'm going to make a pocket. So I'm going to bend the page down. Now, if this is something that you're interested in doing, and you have not done it before, or have not seen videos or anything on it before, I encourage you to go find some videos other than mine that are more tutorial-like, because they may give you better information than what I'm giving you here. Because like I said, I'm not the expert on this. Actually, I think I'm going to put it up here. So that's going to be our first page. Those are going to get glued together, but not yet. And I might have to... Boy, that really... There's really a lump there. You see how... this first page is that much longer than the second page? I don't think it's supposed to do that. And I just tore that one. Wow, this is not starting out very good. Oh, I don't want to get discouraged here. We're going to continue and see how this goes. Maybe this isn't the best book to use because these pages are very thin. And I'm worried that they're a little bit brittle. We'll see. I'm going to continue and we'll see how it goes. If I feel like this isn't going to work this way, I will get a different book and try it with a different book. Because, I don't know, maybe this one just isn't... Maybe the pages are too old. I didn't think this book was that old. Actually, there's a date. It was like 1980 something. Whatever. Anyway. All right. So, I'm saving this one. I tore it 1, 2, 3, 8, and again, I've got too much stuff left over here. You know, other people make this look so easy. It's not. And it's not hard, I'm sure. It just, other people are so good at this. So that one has a corner pocket. This one, I'm going to make a side pocket. And then you save the next one and tear out 8 more. Now the number of pages that you tear out can vary depending on, you know, how thick your book is, how many pages you want to end up with. You know, there's different variables. So when you do it, you kind of decide what will work for you and for the book that you're using. So this is 4. I think my hardest thing is going to be deciding what to do with all my pages, because I feel like it'll get like really redundant if I keep doing the same things. So this time I'm going to go this way. See, my page is tearing. It's not folding real well. That kind of concerns me. I mean, we're going to reinforce them with other paper. However, I don't know if this is too brittle. But like I said, I'm going to keep going and see what happens here. I was so excited to do this, and I thought it was going to be like nice and a smooth project. That's what happens when you watch too much YouTube and don't actually do it yourself. I watch a lot of YouTube, and I see a lot of things that I want to do, and then I somehow don't get to doing them. But this was one that I said, oh, I really want to do this. So I'm doing it. 2, 3, 4. I can't talk and count at the same time. Okay. That one's that pocket. I can do a side pocket going this way. Yeah, that's going to be, my downfall is going to be coming up with all the different kinds of pockets to do. I think I can do like a double pocket. Maybe I'll try that next. So there's the first page. The tearing seems to be getting cleaner as I'm going along here, so that's a good thing. I'm going to try doing 2 pages. I don't know if that'll mess it up or if you have to do one at a time. Oh, that worked. Okay. So this one I want to do... Oops. Oh my goodness. I think I'm going to put a clamp over here. I don't know if that's going to do anything or not. All right, so this one, and that one, and I'm going to go 1 pocket 2 pocket, and 3. So I'll have 1, 2 pockets. This is going to get covered. I think that'll be okay. Okay. Next. Pretty papers. I might use those. Let's see. What did I have here? I have the double, this side, this pocket, this side, and another one of those. How about if I do a bottom pocket? So let me see if I can do this. I'm going to tear it. Is this wise to do this way? No, I should do it this way. I'm going to tear it halfway down. Yeah, you see this, the paper cracked there. So this will become a pocket right here. Look at that, how that picture ended up that way. Boy, I wish I could kind of leave it like that. But not really, it's kind of creepy. If it were a nice picture, you could leave it like that, but I feel like my paper is not sturdy enough to handle that. I feel like I'm definitely going to have to cover this paper. And I'm even thinking I may need to stick some washi tape in between the papers here or something, because I think that this is too fragile, which is unfortunate because I really liked this book cover. I mean, it can still work. I'm still going to try to make it work. And, you know, if it doesn't, we'll figure something out. Even if I have to use a different book. But I'm going to try to get this. What can I do here to get this out of here? I don't know. It's not really working too well either. What do you think? What's your advice here for these papers? Just work them out like this? Or do you have another suggestion? Because I'm kind of floundering on this. But we'll see. All right. 1, 2. I'm doing 2 pages at a time now. 4, just to try to speed it up a little bit. 6. 8. I think what I'm going to do with this one is make a top pocket. Let me get a punch. Just take me a second. Hold on, I'll be right back. Just walking over here to my punches. Where's my big circle punch? Usually when I'm making little pockets and stuff, I use a smaller circle punch, but because this is going to be like a whole page pocket, I'm going to use this bigger one just to have a bigger, what do you call it? Notch up here. There. See? It's ripped. Definitely going to have to cover the pages. Oh, I hope this is going to work, you guys, after all this work. It will. I'll make it work somehow or other. Somehow or other, I will make it work. Okay. Two. Four. Six. This one, what do we want to do? I can do a side pocket. This will be the top, this will be the side. Yeah, let's do that. We'll do the same thing. Okay, next one. Two. Oh, I don't want that page in there. Four. All my pages are going to get covered because these pages are just not, they're too brittle. The next time that I do this, I will make sure that I check the paper in the book and make sure that it's not brittle paper like this, because sometimes you want the book page to show. You know, sometimes that's a look. But if your pages are too brittle, you're going to have to cover them to give them some sturdiness, you know. What do we want? Do we want another pocket? Do we want a side thing? Let's do a side thing. I can also leave a page blank to put like a belly band on. And I'll do that with the next one. But I want the stability of having a second page to glue together. So like they'll just get glued like that, just to give it that stability. If I'm adding paper to it, I don't really need to do that, but I'm going to do that. And then we'll see when I get to the decorating stage how sturdy it is and whether I need to add more to it or not. There's two. Four. Six. Eight. And we're going to make that just a solid page. Next one. I need to speed this up, I know. I wish I knew how to like do super speed, but I don't know how to do that. I'm sure it's a setting on my phone here. If anybody knows, let me know. Or if it's done in the editing. I don't edit my videos because I don't know how. Oh, that was 2, 4, 6. I can have my son edit the videos, but then I'd be like, well, so how long do I make the video so that he can speed it up and it'll still be like the right time? I don't know. I don't know anything about all of that stuff. I'll have to talk to him about that. Because I don't know. How many did I do? Oh, well. She's the dowager, huh? Doesn't she remind you of the lady on Downton Abbey? Only that lady was a bit more attractive looking. Sorry. All right. So that was a solid page. We'll just do another pocket going in this direction. Yeah, these pages aren't sturdy. So here's first tip that I'm learning. Make sure your pages are sturdy enough. Because otherwise, I think I'm going to have problems. We'll see. I don't know. Now, if you're doing a different kind of book that maybe has some pretty pages in it or some interesting pages, you don't have to, when you get to the decorating stage, you don't have to cover them. You can keep them the way they are, even if you just want book pages like this. You can keep them that way. I talk about covering them because I had some paper that I wanted to use. I've seen videos where people have done it both ways. I've watched videos where they leave the book page and just decorate the book page, and I've seen videos where they cover the book page with pretty paper. And that's what I kind of want to do with this one, is cover the pages, because I have some pretty paper I would like to use. But if you have pages that are pretty and you like whatever the design is on the pages, you don't have to cover them. But I guess we'll get into all the decorating detail in another video. I'm hoping to get through the second stage of the project today. So if I want to do that, I gotta hurry with this. What else? What else can we do here? So I did that, these pages facing. I think that might look kind of cool. And then, oh, the two pages together. That'll be like a belly band or something. And we have a side pocket here. This kind of side pocket. The top pocket. The half page pocket. Maybe I'll do one of those. When I first watched, the very first time I watched somebody doing this, I was so confused. I was like, what in the world are they doing? Why are they paper clipping these pages, and what is going on here? But as I continued to watch, I got it. So if you're a little bit confused about what I'm doing, let me just explain that when we're done tearing out all the pages, we're going to go back and we're going to glue down the flaps. And then once those are all glued down, then you work on, if you're going to cover the pages, then you work on covering, because it's easier to do it before you glue them. And then you will glue the pockets. So like with this one, first we'll glue the flap down. And then I'm going to cover this and cover this. And then I will glue here and here. And that creates the page. And then you can decorate with more things if you want. So that's kind of the steps in the process. I know it looks a little weird, but there's a reasoning why people do it this way, and they've been doing it way longer than I have, so I'm going to go with what they do because they're better at it. But if you have found a different way, then, I mean, that's fine too. Whoa, look at that picture. Yikes. What kind of story is this? I don't like those kind of stories. I like to read, but I don't like to read violent stories. It's 2, 4, 6. There's enough violence in real life. I don't need to read it for entertainment. I also don't like those kind of movies. I will go to some of those movies because my husband likes the shoot 'em ups, but I don't. I think I'll do another side pocket. I kind of like the thought of the side pockets. I also don't really care for scary movies. I don't mind like the psychological type ones that are maybe more realistic, but I don't like the horror ones with the blood and the guts and the monsters and stuff like that. Those aren't my type of movies. I like a good rom-com. I like historical stuff. 2, 4, 6. So when I searched on YouTube for altered book junk journals, most of the ones that came up were old, like from 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, which is fine, but I'm wondering, are people not making them anymore? And what would be the reasoning behind that? Why would the trend go away? Or is it just, one of those trends that are, it comes and goes and it'll come back? I don't know. Or is there a reason they don't do it anymore? Did they find that it didn't hold together, doesn't work, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe it was just a trend for a while. They moved on to something else and it'll come back around. I don't know. 2, 4. I mean, the old videos are still relevant. Just because they did it 4 or 5 years ago doesn't mean that it's not still a good video to watch and learn from. Because it definitely is. So if you're going to search on YouTube for altered book journals, they may be a little old, but watch them anyway. And when something also that I'm noticing, like on my own videos too, videos that were uploaded to YouTube like 4 or 5 years ago, the quality of the video, I think it deteriorates over time. Like the picture's a little fuzzier, the audio is a little less clear. So I think the videos that sit out there don't hold up the quality of the video itself. I don't mean the person recording it or anything. I mean just the physical video. I don't know. I don't know technology well enough to know if that's a thing. Okay, one. I'm trying to think of like something different to do. I don't know. I don't know what else to do. Oh, I could do like another double pocket. Can I do... No, let's do a double pocket here. Don't worry about how this looks right now, because again, we're going to cover it. And once we cover it, it will look good. Put some pretty papers on there. Decorate them up. It'll be good. So let's just kind of look. We're about halfway through the book. Oh yeah. That's kind of cool. See how now we have space in between? Yeah, it's coming along. I think it'll work. I think it will be good. Okay, what should I do? That was a side pocket on this side. I could do a side pocket on this side. Trying to pick up speed a little bit here. You know, you never want to rush through your projects, but like this is tedious. I don't know. I think maybe I need a top pocket on this next one. I'm sure that once you get going on this, and you get in a rhythm and a groove, you can do it pretty quickly. First time I do something, I'm always, a little nervous, a little tentative, not really sure if I'm doing it right. And then the second time I do it, I have a little more confidence, and I can go a little bit more smoothly, have a few less mistakes. That's why you got to try it. You have to just do it. Don't even wait until you feel confident. Just do it. If we all waited until we felt positive that we could do something, we'd never do anything. So, yeah, don't hesitate. And don't worry about how it comes out. If you're just doing it for you anyway, what difference does it make? And, a project like this, you're probably not going to do your first one to sell. Probably not. It's more just an example or a practice. So don't worry about it. Get your least favorite book to use. Don't use one that you love. Like, I wouldn't use an Edith Holden book doing this for the first time. Maybe not even the second time. Because I love those books. And if I mess it up, I lose the book. But this book, this is a Reader's Digest book. They're a dime a dozen. Go to any thrift store and you can find a million of them. Any estate sale, they're out there. So I'm not worried about messing it up. It's going to do what it's going to do. And then, the next one, I'll use a different book. Just to try a different book. And I will check the pages in it and, 2, 4, 6. But I urge you, whether it's this project or another project that you've been gearing up to do, just do it. Don't wait until you feel more confident or anything like that. Just jump right in there and do it. And you never know. You may come up with a whole new technique that, if you share with others, they may be happy to learn. Or something new you could just keep to yourself. And check, my neighbor's dogs are barking. They bark at everything. They bark at the cats in the yard. They bark at us. We've lived here, or we've owned the property for longer than those dogs have been alive. So those dogs have known us their whole lives, and they still bark at us. But my husband has made it a game with them, and I think that's why they do it. He goes out and we have a gate at the end of our driveway, and he goes out to open the gate, and the dogs will come along and start barking. So he talks to them and plays with them and tells them, come on, let's go. And then the dogs chase us down the driveway, because our driveway runs along the edge of their property. So the dogs have a fence, and they just run along the fence line along our driveway as we're driving down it. So it's a game, I guess, but sometimes they just get out there and bark, and I look out and I'm like, what in the world are they barking at? I don't know. Did I just do a top pocket? Yes, I did. Okay. And then this is a solid one. What else we got? We got the side one, that side. We have the other side. I'm going to go ahead and do a bottom pocket on this side. So when you put this together eventually, you're going to have some solid pages. Like, I'll show you, hold on. So here will be a pocket, but here will be a solid page. And here's going to be a solid page. Even if we had made this a pocket or something, this would be a solid page. So you're going to have some solid pages on the back of whatever pockets or whatever you have. And on those pages, you can make those into, you know, writing spots, or those are places where you can tuck in an envelope or a doily or, you know, different other things. That's where you can add additional things to the journal. Okay, so that's the next one. I have to speed it up here because I'm gonna run out of time. See, now I got a bunch of pages here. This is holding me up a little bit, having to do this. If you have a solution to this, those experienced out there, let me know, because this is kind of a pain to have to do this. And if I cut into the page, it's going to, you know, obviously weaken the page. But I can use washi tape or some other kind of tape, or even just a piece of paper, put in there to strengthen the pages if I need to. I don't know what else to do, guys. I wish I had better ideas. Maybe I'll just do another solid. No, I just did a solid page here. I don't know. Side pocket. Oh, how about like could I do like a corner tuck, or is that something I'm going to have to put together myself? Let me think. Can I bend the page somehow to make a corner tuck? I don't know. Let me tear these out and then I'll play with it for a minute. Now the number of pages you tear out, like I said at the beginning, is going to depend on how thick your book is and how many pages you want to end up with and all of that. So like after you do your first one, you may change that number to tear out more or less pages. All right, so if I wanted to do... All right, what if I did this? This may be a mistake. Can I take this corner down? Not really. I was going to try to get this corner down to here, but I think that would be too much tearing along here. So I'm going to just have to make this a this pocket. Well, that's a page that'll get covered. I don't know what the story is. All right, you know what? I'm only have like about 10 minutes left here. So I'm going to pause you. I'm going to finish doing this and I'll come back to show you the next step. Okay, so I'm going to just finish this up. If you're doing this along with me, go ahead and finish this up. You won't have time. I'm coming right back. Hold on. Okay, I have finished tearing the pages out of the book. Here are all the pages that I have torn out. That's quite a few pages there. These will get used. I'm not going to throw those away. Even though they're a little bit on the brittle side, it's okay. There's things you can still do with them. That may be another video, but not yet. We're just going to set those aside. The next step we're going to do in the book is we are going to glue the flaps. We're not going to create the actual pockets and things yet. We're just going to glue the flap parts down. There's a reasoning behind that. I guess that'll become kind of clear once you see the whole process, and once you do it yourself, you'll see why this is done this way. So we're just going through, and any of the pages that we made that have a flap, we're gluing it down because we don't need the flap. So again, using this page as the example, the next step I'll come along and I will cover, we're not going to glue it. I'll cover this page and I'll cover this corner. Then we glue it down. Well, and if you want to ink it, then you ink it up and then you glue it down. Okay, but we're doing one step at a time here. So gluing the flaps, all these flaps. Now, in some instances, if you feel like having the flap is going to be a lot of bulk on your page, you can cut it down. You want some because it helps reinforce the opening of the pocket. For example, on this one, you don't want to cut it at the crease here and take this whole flap off, because having something here helps stabilize this part where you're going to be putting something in and out of. Now, if you're going to be covering your pages, that also might help stabilize it. So, you know, maybe you could, and then when you cover your page, you could wrap it around. That's another way to do it. Again, whatever method you feel works for you. And let me know in the comments if you have other tips and tricks other than what I'm saying, because, you know, beginner here, and I'm just following what other people have told me. But you know, when we experience something and we do something ourselves, we learn even more. And we learn what we like about the process and what we didn't like about the process, and then figure out different ways of doing things. Even when we get to the part, and I'm going to tell you now in case you don't watch it, or in case I don't do it, I'll do it though. When we get to the part where we are gluing the pockets down, you don't want to glue it down like this, because remember we have this space. So what you want to do is you put your glue on and hold your pages upright and kind of glue it like that. That way your pages will be even. And that'll make more sense when we go to do it. I just I don't know why I mentioned that ahead of time, but I tend to get ahead of myself because as I'm working, I'm thinking, I'm thinking ahead and planning and thinking, okay, what's my next step? What am I going to do? And you know what I did? When I turned the camera back on, I meant to make note of the time so that I would only go for 10 more minutes. And I forgot to make note of the time. So I apologize if this runs really long. I'm going to just finish up this step of the process. And then the next step will be in a whole different video, which I may or may not film today or record today, because I don't know if I'm going to have time. I have some prep work to do before I do it. I was going to use a certain paper pack that I bought recently and really like, but I think I may have to change it because that paper pack, I think, is double-sided. And I don't really want to use double-sided because it would waste the other side of the paper, if that makes sense. Because I'll be gluing it down and covering it. I don't know. I'll have to see. I'll have to take a look at the paper and determine how much I actually love it. I do like the paper. And I do want to use it on a special project, but now I'm reconsidering whether this is the special project or not. We'll see. So like on this one where you're half your page is the pocket, you could cut this down like halfway so that you don't have as much bulk, but in this one I'm not going to because of the fragileness of the paper. I've said that a million times already, I know. Running out of things to say. Now this one doesn't have a flap. This is the whole page pocket. We're not gluing it together yet. And there's nothing for us to glue with it right now. Same with this one's a whole page thing. So we're just gluing the flaps. I'm going to pause you again because, like I said, I don't know how much time I've got here. So I'm going to pause you again. I think you get the gist of what I'm doing. I'm going to finish it up and then come back and we'll take a look at where we are so far. Okay, so I only have a couple of pages left to do, and I just wanted to show you a couple things real quick here. I got to this page and I thought I wanted to do something a little bit different. It's not a big deal. It's not that big of a difference. But this page here originally had a straight flap like this for a side pocket. And I thought, well, what if I angled it a little bit? So I just refolded this page and angled it. So instead of a straight side pocket, it's got kind of this angled tuck spot thing going on here. So as you're doing this, when you're going through, think different. Try to be a little bit creative and fold your pages in a different way. That's where I lack, is in the creativity. So I have a hard time thinking outside that box. And for me, this is thinking outside that box. So I just wanted to kind of show you that you're not limited to like what I'm showing you or what somebody else does in their video. You can do your own thing and make your pages like as interesting as you want them to be. That was one thing I wanted to point out. Second thing, I don't think I had previously gotten to one of these pages where I'm gluing the pages together. So I just wanted to show you how I'm doing that. Obviously I'm putting glue on the whole page, and you don't really have to glue both sides. You can if you want to, depending on, I guess, if your glue is strong enough. But I didn't feel like I needed to glue both sides of the page. But what I wanted to show you was when you're gluing the two full pages together like this, you want to hold them up straight and then push them together as they're standing up straight. If you try to do it laying down, your pages aren't going to be even. So that's why you have to do it that way. And it works. And we're going to do more of that later when we start actually gluing the pages. But we're not there yet. I need another glue. I found this in my glue stash a while back. It's supposed to be like, it's a corner glue stick. To me, it doesn't work any differently than the round glue sticks. I don't know how you're supposed to like use it for the corners, but I had bought it at some point because I saw it and thought, hey, that's something different. Let me try it. And I'm not impressed with it. It's just a glue stick. The type of glue that it is, extra strength, it works just as well as the other glue sticks. But the triangular shape, I don't know what the point of that was. And then I also wanted to point out, when you get to the end of your book, you want to leave the last page intact. So when you get back here, like I only tore out one page in this last section instead of the 8 pages because, well, we're at the end of the book. And that's okay. If you're, oh, see, I don't like this. It just made a mess. If you're, what was I going to say? On your last page, if you don't tear out the 8 pages or whatever number of pages that you've been tearing out, that's fine. It doesn't have to be exact. Oh my goodness. There's all kinds of things happening here. I was trying to get the extra glue off of the page, and the wipe stuck to it. And then I tore it. But that's all right, because we're going to cover it, and I'll fix it later. So here's the last page. You want to keep the last page in your book, and you want to keep the first page in your book as they are, because that's what's kind of holding everything together. So we have glued all the flaps, and it looks a little bit more compact and put together. You know, the paper clips are kind of deceiving us, but the next step we're going to do is we're going to start covering the pages, and of course that'll be another whole video, so we will get to that. And if you're playing along with me, pick out the papers that you want to use. They don't have to be a collection. They don't have to be a set. They don't even have to go together if you don't want to. Whatever look you want for your journal, pick out the pages that you want. And when we come back the next time, we will do that. We'll work on covering those pages. And until then, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you played along with me. And if you didn't, you can still go back and do it now that you've seen what we've done. Go grab a book and do it and get ready for the next step. I think it'll be fun. Let me know in the comments below if you're doing this with me, if you're going to do one later. If you've done one before and you have some ideas and tips and tricks, let me know that too. So until then, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.